Okay, so this is a video to discuss about the final design project. The final design project is one of the most important thing within the Bachelor of Engineering degree in mechatronics. So we have one final design project ME4709 FDP1 in seventh semester of the student, and we have the second part of it in continuation with the first FDP2 final design project 2, which is ME4809, which is normally taken in the eighth semester of the student for the students. Okay, so it's basically a 6 credit hour combined course, FDP1, FDP2. Each one is 3 credit hours per week. And this is basically a course where uh, this is basically a course which decides uh, how much the student have learned throughout his program. Okay, and here this is a course where the students actually utilize all of the knowledge that they have learned through different courses in the form of one single project that they take. uh, okay, duration of this is 2 consecutive semesters. The final year project FYP is one of the most important aspects of undergraduate degree. It is the culmination of the undergraduate program. It involves the application of knowledge gained through study, experience, and practice together with judgment so that the proposed approach is effective and efficient. The project is expected to be challenging and to attain the various course learning outcomes and the program outcomes. It can be either one or a combination of experimentation, computer programming, modeling, simulation analysis, product design, industrial application, etc. The area and scope of the project should be confined so that it is feasible and could be completed within the allocated time frame. It preferably should also be related to industrial problems which enable the students to be exposed to a real life environment. The projects are to be undertaken in small teams of 2 or 3 students with distinctive titles over a duration of 2 consecutive semesters. So this is the basic description of this course. Now, the important thing in this course is that there are certain course learning outcomes which are defined, and you are going to be assessed against all those course learning outcomes individually, one by one, and uh, you have to pass each of the course learning outcome in order to actually pass the course. So the first course learning outcome is related to assess the social, health, safety, legal, cultural, commercial, and political impacts of the identified project. First of all, you have selected a project, but you have to also assess all these factors uh, uh, as a part of your project assessment. Okay, so if you do this thing, then you have actually achieved the CLO. Then you also have to, as a second CLO, you have to assess the sustainability of the project uh, with consideration of the relevant sustainable development goals and indicators. Each project in our department has to be linked to SDG goals, sustainable development goals, and you have to link with it. Okay, so if you have a project which cannot be linked with any of the sustainable development goals, then obviously that project cannot be selected in it. So you have to select a project which can be linked to sustainable development goal, and then you have to justify that how it is actually uh, related to that specific SDG goal. How your project is related to that SDG goal, you have to then justify it. Okay, so depending upon the kind of the project, it could be linked to at least one SDG, but it can be linked to more than one SDG as well. Then CLO3 will be report and interpret the literature review to define problem and opportunities. Uh, so if the literature review is properly done, problem statement and the solution statement is properly defined, then CLO3 is achieved. CLO4 is develop hypothesis and test, evaluate, model, prototype, and review investigation result. So it's going to be seen that within this project, did you actually first develop an hypothesis? You have to actually come up with an idea of how to solve the problem with the help of your then you have to justify it by making a model and a prototype and testing and evaluation of it, and then show the results of investigation. Then CLO5 is about present effectively to engineers and the community at large in oral and written forms. Obviously, you have three different specific events of presentations where you have to defend your project. First, initially, you have to defend your project at the proposal stage, so that will be the proposal defense. Then you have to uh, defend your project by the end of FYP1, FDP1, so that is known as the mid defense. Then you have to defend your project by the end uh, of, of FDP2, which is known as the final defense. So all the CLO5 is going to be assessed at all three stages. Then CLO6 is related to demonstrate the valuing attribute of a lifelong learner for project selection and completion. CLO6 will be evaluated during your project selection. By the time you're proposing your project, at that time you have to show that you want to do something in it, which is which is an attribute of a lifelong learner, something that's going to stay with you and that you can actually continue afterwards. So that will be CLO6. If you have actually shown it, then it will be CLO6. CLO7 will be design, produce engineering solution to complex problems utilizing a systems approach. Obviously, the design of your solution is for development of a prototype will be very important, and that is going to be assessed from CLO7. CLO7 will be related to apply, implement modern engineering and IT tools to complex engineering problems. So, what IT tools you are actually using, what softwares that you are using to actually implement your solution, your idea, that is going to be assessed through CLO8. CLO9 will be practice, consideration of ethics norms which guide engineering practices, including professionalism, innovation, and creativity. So CLO9 will be assessed through this uh, your practice of ethics and norms in engineering practice. Then for CLO10, you will be assessed about uh, how you achieved research outcomes by exhibiting displaying effective team management, review and improvement process. So your team management skills will be assessed through CLO10. Then CLO11 will be organized and display the meetings, discussion, and process of project development. So your project development stages, how you have organized them, are going to be assessed through CLO11. Then CLO12 will be related to show the skills, diligence, and commitment to excellence needed to engage in lifelong learning. Most of the time, this is related to some software knowledge or some knowledge of a specific use uh, of, of a device or of a machine that you learn in order to actually develop your project. Okay, so that's related to your lifelong learning ability. So something that you actually learned on your own, that was actually the need of the project, uh, that was actually not taught within the course of your 4 years, that relate to the lifelong learning, and how have you learned it, and how have you excelled in it. This is going to be assessed through CLO12. And then CLO13 will be very important. That is the psychomotor skill, where your project working and how your project is presented, because it's going to be a combination of hardware and software. So the hardware content and how the software is being linked to it is going to be looked at thoroughly. So constructs research and technical outputs by applying appropriate techniques, resources, and modern engineering tools to a complex open-ended engineering problem. So these 13 CLOs are going to be assessed in order to uh, award you a passing grade or whatever be the grade that you get in the courses of FDP1 and FDP2. Now, for these CLOs, obviously each CLO is related to a PLO, program learning outcome. I'm not going to discuss the program learning outcome here, but they are already listed here and you can go through them if you want. So we have about 12 program learning outcomes and they are being linked to each and every CLO. So the CLO PLO mapping is very important here. As I've told you, you have to pass all CLOs. So we have from CLO 1 till CLO 13, course learning outcome 1 till course learning outcome 13. And each CLO has a specific number of marks. So for example, CLO 1 is 10 marks, CLO 2 is 10 marks, CLO 3 12 marks, then 8 marks, then 28 marks, then 8 marks, 10 marks, 10 marks, 12 marks, 26 marks, 20 marks, 6 marks, and then 40 marks. If you add them up all together, that comes out to be 200 marks. So those 200 marks are going to be assessed one by one. Okay, here we have I also mentioned that regarding each CLO, at what time your assessment will be done. Your assessment will be done at five specific through five specific platforms. One will be the proposal defense. The second will be the mid defense, then third will be the final defense, fourth is the individual student evaluation for FYP1, and fifth is the individual student evaluation for FYP2. So for example, CLO1, it will be assessed for 10 marks. 4 marks will be assessed in proposal defense and 6 marks will be assessed in final defense. Similarly, CLO2, 10 marks, and how many marks will be assessed in each of the assessments. Then CLO3 will be 12 marks, 6 marks will be assessed in proposal, 4 marks will be assessed in mid defense, 2 marks will be assessed in final defense. CLO4 will be assessed in mid defense and final defense. CLO5 will be assessed in proposal defense, mid defense, and final defense in these three stages. CLO6, it will be assessed in proposal defense and then it will be assessed in individual student evaluation for FYP2. CLO7, mid defense and final defense. CLO8, mid defense and final defense. CLO9, mid defense and final defense. CLO10, it will be assessed in individual student evaluation for FYP1 and individual student evaluation for FYP2 only. CLO11, it will be assessed in proposal defense as well as in mid defense and individual student evaluation for FYP1, in final defense as well as in individual student evaluation for FYP2. So this is how CLO11 will be assessed. CLO12 will be assessed only in individual student evaluation for FYP2. CLO13 will not be assessed in proposal defense, but it's related to the psychomotor skill, how you have actually developed your project and the working of your project, the hardware content of it. So it will be assessed in the mid defense and final defense. So total of it is actually like 200 marks, and obviously you will be assessed out of. So you, in order to actually pass this course, you not just have to pass this 200, you have to pass each and every CLO. So from CLO1 till CLO13, all the CLOs need to be passed. Okay, and what kind of rubrics are there in order to assess each and every CLO will be discussed in a different video. Okay, so overall marks distribution for FYP1 and FYP2 will be 200 marks. Out of this, FYP1 will be 100 marks and FYP2 will be 100 marks. In FYP1, if I do further subdivision, so product design and development is actually 50 marks. Then teamwork and management skills is being assessed for 20 marks, and that will be solely with the supervisor. And then the presentation and report will be assessed for 30 marks. So 50, 20, and 30 makes up actually 100 marks, which will be for FYP1. For FYP2, of those 100 marks, project design and development will be 48 marks. Teamwork and management will be 26 marks, and this will be with the supervisor only. And the presentation and report will also be 26 marks. So it's 48, 26, and 26. That makes up another 100 marks. So This 100 plus 100, 200 marks makes up the entire markings of your FYP1 and FYP2. So this is all about the overall marks distribution for FYP and what are the CLOs that you have to actually pass for this FYP. Thank you.